This is the PL-89 gematriatic quantum interdimensional, multidimensional thought calendar, quantum thought calendar. And it's for Monday, December 1st, 2025. Just an interesting tidbit that December and September are parallel, which means that if September 1st was a Monday, then December 1st will be a Monday. Whatever day of the week September comes out on, bar none, December will be. And it's been an ongoing, interesting kind of mystery for me. See here, I'm going to check it just to make sure. Should have checked it before, but let's just say September 1st of 2025 was a Monday, right? Monday, September 1st. And let's say September 15th, of course, is going to be a Monday also. And yeah, December 1st. Always, many years I've been checking that. And I don't know why, the only thing I can think of, just came to mind right now, is that in the Jewish calendar, Elul is usually part of September, and then Rosh Hashanah comes like usually at the end of September. So not sometimes like early October, but like at the end of September. So if you think about it, the Hebrew New Year starts like at the end of September, and then the Gregorian, the secular New Year, starts at the end of December. So maybe that's a connection that September has to December. Just thought of it right now. But those kinds of ideas are prevalent in this calendar. This is a calendar of calendars. It's a several calendars in one. I even added the Islamic calendar to it back in Elul time, Tishrei, meaning September, October time. But I kind of didn't continue on with it because I didn't really see a need for it right now. But I'll put it back if I need to. It's very close to the Jewish calendar. It's like the same number day. Maybe it's one day off sometimes. Like I think in Av, which was Safar in the Islamic calendar, is one day off. But in Elul, it was exactly the same. I think so. Either Elul is in Islamic, it's called Rabi Elul, close to Elul, similar. But it's not always in that time. There's a drift on the Islamic calendar. So anyway, I think it was around that time, or maybe a month after. They're both lunar calendar. But anyway, this is the two main calendars here are the Gregorian calendar. Like today's December 1st, and it's also the 11th of Kislev. Well, it was. It's nighttime now, but today it was 11th of Kislev. So as far as the lunar calendar goes, 11th of Kislev, it's going to be 11th of Kislev is right here. Box number is 28. And so when you see 28, you start to think, what do I do with 28? So either 28 comes up today. It's a very clear indication of what 28 is. Or you can add it to the other number, to the solar number, which I'll get to in a moment. Or you can add 40 to it. It's called the rule of 40. This is based on 40. And so 28 plus 40 is 68. And 68, I would think Brandon, first thing right away, Brandon. But I don't know. Okay, Wayne comes up. 68 is Wayne. And Wayne came up today. Wayne's Kitchen is a Wayne. Wayne came up today. And so I would connect that to 28 because 28 in the PL-89 is 68, and 68 equals Wayne, and Wayne came up today, so that's a really neat thing. And the idea is to find more and more of these things, to make more and more connections, and to get a clearer, more in-depth, more focused picture of reality when you can see all the little details that come in certain places. I mean, this should happen ideally at the Torah level too, like whatever you learned during the day, and say, oh yeah, it happened today because of this and that, and this equals that equals this, and it all makes sense. That's kind of the idea. So today Wayne came up, and I didn't plan it that way. It's just, this happens to be that the 11th day of any month, actually, not just Kislev. When it gets to be December 11th, it's going to be here too. And all the other months like that. When it's March 11th, it'll be the same thing here. June 11th, same thing here. I mean, by June time, this thing has been going for almost 14 years now. And when it hits the spring, it's scheduled to complete, which is very exciting. I started this in Elul time, September, like late August, September time, early September time of 2012. And that year, there were some amazing signs about how to create this thing and why. And just an amazing miracle. I usually share this. I share this once in a while, but I think I'll share it because it has to do with 2012. And also, I don't have such strong gamatches. I mean, let's see here. I mean, Wayne was okay. It's pretty good. It's not like amazing. Sometimes I have really amazing ones. But, okay, and before I share the story, I'll just go to the solar date, which is December 1st. The first of every month is always going to be here on 23. 23 is the first of every month. So when it was Elul, when it was Elul 1, and it was September 1st. This is also here. But today is December 1st, and it's right here. And Kislev 1 was right here. 23, so I would go 63. Let's see, 63, I don't know. But I keep on going up. 103, 143, 183, 223, 273. I'm sorry, 263, 263, 303, 343, 363. I'm sorry, 323. No, it's 343. 383. 423. 463. Nothing. 503. I mean, it's 503 is Portland, but so I'm in Portland, Oregon. 503, 543. Okay, see that. 583. No. 623. 623. That came up today. 623 came up today, actually. 323 rather. 323 came up. It was 619, which was 323. Yeah, it's kind of a slow day for that. But anyways, I'll go back to the story here. The story is that in 2012, I got a tax return of exactly $430. Exactly, not any cents, nothing. It was exactly 430 even. Boom. And that number 430, you can think of Exodus when it says that on that day, the armies of God, meaning that the Israelites who were in Egypt were slaves, call them the armies of God, I think. Tzivos Hashem, something like that. They were let out of Egypt. I might be confusing it, but I remember that one there. But anyways, that was when they were let out of servitude after 430 years, it says. Even though with Abraham it says 400 years, but in Exodus it says 430. 430 is the key number to the Geula Shlema. In fact, Geula Shlema, complete redemption, equals 430. That year in 2012 was precisely 430 years, exactly, almost to the day. I mean, I got that check maybe springtime. So in the winter that year, in 1582 was when Pope Gregory instituted the Gregorian calendar, the one we have today. This is why it's December 1st of 2025. It was the Julian calendar before that. And so this calendar has to do something with that. I'm not sure exactly what yet, but this also is a Julian calendar as well. It's also a Daf Yomi calendar, and they're connected. For something I've explained in the past, because Greece accepted the Gregorian calendar very, very late. They waited until 1923 to accept the Gregorian calendar, which was the year the Dafyomi started. Very interesting. And I'm trying to make a correlation between those two. But anyway, that year, my tax return was exactly $430. That means that 400 years, 2012, is 430 years exactly after 1582. Exactly, 430 years, exactly. So that was the sign to me to know that I had to do something with the calendar. All right, I had to do something with the calendar. But the exact idea of the calendar, I didn't know. So the colors I had for a while, I developed these colors in 2009. After my dad had passed on in the summer of 2009, I had some kind of I don't want to call it I don't know what to call it, but basically it was a creative idea that every color should have a number. And it's nothing new. I mean, many people do that. But in this case, it was for a very special purpose. It was to unite and to basically, it's like the massive collection of data, of all data, period, anything, all information, and code it into color. The colors would combine everything for many purposes. This project it started really in the summer of 2009. So it goes back some 16 and a half years. But this calendar came a few years later. I knew about 8 and 9 because these colors, these different shades of purple color, was always 8 and 9. But the 8 and 9 concept didn't materialize until 2012. And after Passover, it's gradually started to develop. And I just knew that 8 plus 9 was the thing because of a certain verse in the Bible that had to do with the sabbatical year, which has to do with the redemption also. And so I just asked around and said, it starts 8 plus 9, 8 plus 9, 8 plus 9, and then you stop at 40. 8 plus 9, 8 plus 9, stop at 40. That's the formula. 8 plus 9, 8 plus 9, stop at 40. Which, for example, it's 8 plus 9 is what? 17. Right? Plus 9 is... 8 plus 9 is 17. Plus 8 is 25. Plus 9 is 34. Plus 8 is 42, but no, 2. Because 34 plus, but it crosses that barrier. That 40 is that reset line. So it starts over again. And so it goes 34 and then 2, 11, 19, 28, 36, 45, no, 5, 13, 22, 30, 39, 7, 16, 24, 33, 33, 1, 10, 18, 20, and so forth. And I didn't know when it gets back to 8 again. But it gets back to 8 after, when you hit 48. Right? Because 8 times 5 is 40. After you hit 40, you have 39, it goes to 8. And then it comes back, and then it goes stops. Here's 20 here. There's 8. And then 40 at the bottom. So this is 3 months of time, which is again connected to the Redeemer, Moses. Where do we find 3 months of Moses? Now, 8 times 10 is 80. You're going to look at 80 days, which was Moses' age during the Exodus story, but there's actually 90 days. Why? Because you see 80 here, it's 8 times 10 boxes, but under here is an invisible yet very real period called the 10-day twilight period. And that's the last 10 days of any 3-month period. And it's counted. It's called T1, T2. So after we hit here, the last box, then you go T1, T2, T3, T4, etc. until you finish up that 3-month period and you go to the next Tekufa. So where do we find 3 months with Moses? We find it in Exodus chapter 2. Moses, it says that when Pharaoh issued the edict to kill the boys, the baby boys, it says his mother hid him for 3 months. And then after 3 months, you can no longer hide him. The words there are Vatitzpneu Shlosha Yerachim. She hid him for 3 months. And these 3 months, continual 3 months, which happened to be a full year, according to planet Mercury, according to published astronomy data. I can only go with what's published, but according to what they say, the orbit of Mercury around the Sun is 88.769 something, 769 or 679, so something like that, 697, 969, whatever. It's 88 days, but 88 is basically 90 days, so that's 3 months. And so then now you have Mercury in here. But what's the atomic number of Mercury? It's 80. So it goes back, it takes you back to Moses' age. Mercury is like Moses. But what was Mercury in mythology? It was the messenger. He was the messenger. So Moses is like the messenger to say, let my people go. So Mercury's in that chemical is equal to 80. But Moses was 80 years old. You see what I mean? It's kind of connecting everything. So it's the PL-89. Why? Because 89 is not 90. It's not 98. It's right in the middle. But 89 is the gematria of English of unity. Unifies everything. You see what I'm saying? That's like 80 boxes. Moses was 80 years old. This is like 90 days, which is like Mercury's orbit. Mercury, the chemical, is atomic number is 80. Moses was 80. See what I mean? It just goes back around and around. It verifies itself that each point is true. But you get the picture when you see these things.